Hi, I'm Ron Jones from Lean Berets. I'm here with my student assistants, Cade and Ronnie, and we're here to show you how to do a really fun drill called the SandBell Figure-8 toss. And this is a SandBell. It's a 2-pound SandBell. It's one of my favorite tools for teaching people how to have fun with movement. It's a very soft disc, and this particular one only weighs 2 pounds, and that's the one I like to teach people with because it's the lightest one that they make. So here's a great pro tip if you're ever teaching any kind of tossing drill. It doesn't matter what the implement is, especially adults. Maybe they haven't caught anything for years. You want to put the implement into their hand so they can feel it. They can feel how soft and hard it is, and you know what it's going to do in terms of interaction with their skin and their fingers. Okay, so these student assistants have done the drill quite a few times. They understand the SandBell, but that's a good tip for your clients or your students. Okay, so this is a drill that's going to involve a catch of the SandBell that's being tossed from the partner around the back of the body without looking, changing hands back to the front, and then threading the SandBell through between the knees using a hip hinge movement, taking it into the first hand that caught the SandBell, and then returning it back. So you're going to catch and return with the same hand. So go ahead and do a few revolutions of this so people can see while I talk through. So Cade is going to be using his left hand to catch and return the SandBell. Ronnie's using her right hand to catch and return the SandBell. So there's a number of things I look for when people know, okay, the SandBell goes behind the body, through the knees. I start looking for how do they move. And so what I'm looking for is, do the people know how to hip hinge, right? Can they move from the hip straight back? Do they have that control in the back side of their body? And are they moving back without collapsing their knees? This is called valgus, but basically we don't want them to collapse the structure. So I'm looking for hip hinge. I'm looking for foot posture. I'm looking for, is the kneecap tracking over the center of the foot, right? Can they have, or do they have the shoulder mobility to reach around behind their body without turning their whole body? So all these things are great observations to make if you know what you're looking for as a coach. And so it's self-limiting because, and this is, you know, fun to do with the kids so you can see what they're doing. If you get too carried away, people don't get to play because it's constantly going over someone's head or they're dropping it. So when you're working with a partner, you want to assess what your partner can do safely, and you don't want to humiliate the other person. So I'm also looking for, do they have hand-eye coordination? Do they have visual tracking? Some people don't track moving objects well because of visual problems. So these are all things that you're looking for if you're a seasoned coach or even a parent that's a little bit savvy. Okay, so let's start working our way up from the ground. So go ahead and do some. Go ahead and keep going. So I'm looking for foot posture. Both their feet are pretty squared up. So if somebody's doing the drill like this, I know they have hip issues because they're externally rotating. So I might start cueing them to, can they square in the box a little bit within about 10 degrees external rotation. So the twins have that, so go ahead and keep going. Can they get the SandBell behind their body without twisting their whole spine? They seem to have the shoulder mobility to reach behind their body. When I work with adults, that's not always the case. Some people are very tight in their shoulders. Can they catch it most of the time? And yes, they can. So even if it's got a little snap to it, they're able to track that. But sometimes with adults, they're not very good at tracking anything quickly, okay? So a lot of people will go down too early. So as soon as they catch the SandBell, they try to go down here. You don't want to go down until the SandBell goes down. So I catch, hold on you guys, I catch, I go behind my back, I come back, I'm not going into my hip hinge until the SandBell starts to drop. And then at the same time, this is synchronized, I drop with the SandBell. Okay, so once the people know that, you know, they're catching and returning the SandBell with the same hand, they kind of have this figured out. It's circling, and then it's down through their knees and coming back. I start talking about the timing of the arm with the hip. So this is a bit of a, it's not really a progression, but it's another point of cleaning up the movement and making it higher quality, and then it's going to be better for the brain the better that we move. So watch the timing of my arm. So I catch the SandBell, I come through, when the SandBell goes here and it starts to drop, that's when my hips drop. I come back, and as I stand up, I want my arm to be timed with my hip. So in other words, I don't want my arm ahead of my hip, and I don't want my hips ahead of the arm, because now it's all shoulder. Let the deep pelvic floor and the hips and the glutes push the movement. This is just an extension. As the hips finish their extension, yes, the arm will continue. But right here, this is lined up. So let's see if we can do that in the demo. So go ahead and rip through it a few times. And slow it down a little bit so they can see this. Good. So they're able, with their shoulder mobility, to reach behind their body. They don't have to look behind their body because they can feel their way with the back pass. By the way, that's really good for the brain to be able to do that. They're not collapsing at the knees. Their feet are pretty square or parallel instead of being turned out like this or, offset. They also need to be parallel instead of one this way and one back. So all that stuff, in terms of just having fun with the playful drill, all that is there. Now, once we establish that, a really fun progression is to use 2 SandBells. It sounds complicated, but really you're doing the same thing. Remember the basics. Catch and return with one hand, and then you're just going to catch and return with the other, catch and return with this one, catch and return with that one. So let's demonstrate the double SandBell figure-8 toss. And again, you want to only go as fast as your partner can control. So you're playing a game and you're cooperating. There's a coordination here, a cooperation, respect for your partner. There's a lot going on neurologically, socially, and it's fun. Okay.